work. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday.
Very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a
Let me just point out, Mayor, Governor Newsom has said that President Trump is, quote, putting fuel on the fire. And you've called the deployment of National Guard troops to your city a chaotic escalation. Why is this an escalation?
Not Waymo's, they're something like a Waymo, just based off of some of that hardware again.
Now in the street there is violence, and then a lot of work to be done. No place to hide out or wash it, and then they can't live all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rock down to the and then we take it higher. Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue. And then we take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue. And then we take it higher. Who is to blame in one country?
Well, no, I think the issue here is state power and state sovereignty. And so we do not believe, and what the governor is doing is separate from what's happening in the city. But what was the reason that the president had to take the power from the governor and federalize the National Guard?
Let's be clear. Trump's deployment of the National Guard and Marines in California is not about the protests. It is not about ICE, and it's really not about immigration. It's about using extremely dubious legal authority to expand his never-ending grasp for more power and his effort to move this country toward authoritarianism. In terms of what's happening in Los Angeles, let us understand that in our federalist form of government, local, state, federal, it is the governor of a state who deploys the National Guard, not the President of the United States. Trump's argument for his deployment of the troops is absurd and laughable. Does anyone really believe that we are in the midst of a foreign invasion?
CNN images showing vandalism, destruction. On the latter, Professor, do you think that those images damage the greater cause of migrant advocates? And also, do you think that the Trump administration is really capitalizing on some of the images coming out of LA?
Well, I think that the vandalism certainly serves no useful purpose, and of course, President Trump skillfully uses it to advance his own agenda, particularly on immigration. The use of Mexican flags is more complicated. This is something that goes back actually to the 1990s when many people protested against Proposition 187 at the time, and then also the early 2000s where demonstrations all over the United States took place against several laws that were being implemented then on immigration. So the use of the Mexican flag is not really that new. The issue here is that most, I would say practically all of the demonstrators, all of the protesters are American citizens. You would have to be quite reckless or foolish to be a Mexican citizen without papers or even as a legal permanent resident to go out and demonstrate today in these protests because you're most likely to be arrested and deported, even if you're a legal permanent resident, certainly if you have no papers. So I think most of the people, if not all of the people who are demonstrating, are American citizens, and it's perfectly their right to use any flag they want, especially a flag that is important for them because it marks their heritage. That's where the enormous majority of the Latino population in Los Angeles comes from Mexico. And this goes back well over 100 years now. So yes, they're using a symbol of their heritage, but they are American citizens enjoying American freedoms. And what's questionable is whether those freedoms are being taken away now by not allowing them to demonstrate with a flag or without a flag.
We don't need no